Alrighty, hey everyone. I know this section on Ingenuity hit you guys really hard with factoring, which is why I want to make probably make 2 videos, maybe 3, on just brushing up on the basics. So, factoring is what we do to break apart trinomials, binomials, and sometimes things that are larger into their smallest pieces. So let's not even get to the solving part just yet. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Ax squared plus bx plus c is your standard trinomial that you'll find in these problems. So I pulled one of these problems from your assignments. X squared minus 12x plus 36 equals 0. There are multiple ways to say solutions for a factoring problem. First off, it can just be solutions. They can also be called x-intercepts. They can also say how many times or number of times a graph hits the x-axis, which is just the same as the x-intercepts. Number of times a graph touches x-axis. They all are the same thing. Now, to factor this, we have to see what multiplies to get a times c. So a times c, I'm sorry, that's not a. The little invisible 1 up here is a. A times c, 36. But adds to get b. Let me erase that one there. This first video is just going to be on factoring when a is equal to 1. So, you know, there's nothing there. There technically is invisible 1. So what I'm going to do is form my little t-chart for this problem. And that'll come later. So I have to form a t-chart that says, all right, let's multiply to get positive 36 and add to get 12. It's not always just this number on the end, but since a is equal to 1, it makes it a little easier. Now, some of these factors may jump right out to you. Sometimes they might not, and you have to just start by listing the basic factors. 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9, and then 6 times 6. And that is a negative 12. Got to be careful with that. Let's talk what the signs mean. Now, you don't need to know this, but this is a nifty little shortcut. This first sign tells you your sign of your larger factor. If it's positive, all these large factors on this side will be positive. If it's negative, they'll all be negative. So since that's negative, I'm going to make these negative. The last one are the same, so I'll just, make that negative. Now, since we are multiplying, a plus sign tells us these signs will be the same. A minus sign will tell you these signs will be different, as is how multiplication works. Signs are same for plus, and signs are different or minus. The minus doesn't mean they're both negative. Think of how multiplication works. If the sign is negative and I make both of these factors negative, that's going to make a positive. So let's see what we have here. I need to make sure these signs are the same according to my plus sign, but also, like I said, you don't need this information because if you look at these factors, the only ones that could possibly get 12 are 6 and 6. And for them to make negative 12, they have to both be negative. Now, let's get to the crux of the issue. X squared minus 12x plus 36 is going to break into my two factors, x plus, I'm sorry, not plus, we chose double negatives, x minus 6 and x minus 6 equals 0. To solve, we're going to set these equal to 0. Simple as that. Now, they're the same thing, so for this problem, we get 2 of the same answer, x equals 6. But I want to show you one where it's not the same thing. So let's do another example. This time without all the annotation of the notes in between. So let me pull up a trinomial. You can't really just make these things off the top of your head, because otherwise they might not work. So let's see, x squared. X squared, x squared, x squared. Ha! Squared minus 8x. No, not 8x. Minus 8 will come at the end. Oop. Okay. And then plus 2x minus 8. Okay, so for this one here, T-chart. What multiplies to get a times c? So 1 times negative 8 is negative 8. But adds to get 2. If it doesn't jump to you right away, we got 1 times 8, 2 times 4, and that's it. So the only two factors that could possibly get us 2 are 2 and 4. Now this is where you can kind of use that information with the signs to help you out, or just mess with the signs yourself. I usually only just work with this one. That tells me the larger factors are positive, which means to multiply to become a negative. The smaller ones would be negative, minus, minus. But really, we know that negative 2 plus 4 is the only thing that gets us positive 2. That breaks into x minus 2, x plus 4. And I do want to be solving for this, so I'll make this equal to 0. Set them both equal to 0. And you have your solutions. X equals 2 and x equals negative 4. That means if we were to graph this parabola, the x-intercepts 2, 0, and negative 4, 0 are where this would hit the x-axis. And that's where we'll call it for this video.